All righty.
They can't see us.
Oh, hang on.
We're here.
Hey. There we are. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you here. Let's get this right. Let's flip this. Oh, man. Woo. It's been a day for me. How's your day been?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Like I just basically dashed in the room, so to speak. Like I just finished recording, so I was running late.
I was so I'm moving again.
Nice.
Like this is the third time this year.
Hopefully
no big deal. And so that's what I was doing today. And I had to take down. So in the room that I moved into, there was this big I don't even know how to call it. It's like this I don't even know what to call it. It's like a bed. It's like a twin size bed on top of a closet that also has like a shelf space on it. It's like this IKEA furniture thing. Like I don't even know what you would call that, but that's what it was. I had to take that down and get it out.
Are you doing this mostly by yourself?
Yes. So I had a buddy help me move a bunch of. I had a buddy help me move some big stuff today. Excuse me, big stuff today. But he had to take off after we unloaded, and I had to take that down by myself, and then set everything up. And I discovered as I was setting up, I don't have internet here yet, so I'm currently running this stream off of my cell phone's hotspot. So that's what. That's what
you should have just ran it from your phone.
Well, yeah, but then I don't know. I don't think we would have been able to have the. We would have
had a stronger connection.
Well, really? You think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I've done it.
See.
The 5G on a phone is always going to be stronger than a hotspot, because a hotspot is kind of like taking that data that comes into the phone and then divvying a little bit of that out.
Oh, I guess you're right. Well, what's going on, everybody? Actually, you know what? Tell me about your day. Sorry, I just told you about mine. What have you been doing? Just recording?
Most of my usual. I posted a video today, then wrote my notes and all of that, got ready for another video, and then shot the video, and then literally finished like 30 seconds before we went live.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been lagging behind on my other channel, on my reviews channel. I was supposed to post my repost my Heretic review, and I haven't been able to do that. So
you did see Heretic though?
I did see it. Yeah. So
oh, good. We could talk about that.
Yeah, we could talk about it. I'm just bringing up the news right now because we have some news. But I want to say hi to everybody. So what's going on, Heather? Good to see you.
Yeah, hey, what's
John,
up,
Connor, what's going on? Will, good to see you. Wolfman, you missed us last week. Good to catch you live. Good to catch you. Ralph, what's going on? Good to see you. Nightingale.
What's up, Ralph?
Seeing a lot of people.
Hey,
John Connor, there we go. Okay, so you're on.
Yeah. What's up, John?
John, everybody, watch us on the Death Rattle side, please, please, please. We love seeing you on the Ghost Pirate side, but we like the Death Rattle the Death Rattle chat. We want to see that lively. But good to see everybody. Let's see who's in here.
You're cutting out. You're cutting out. I don't know if it's cutting out for them, but you're cutting out for me a bit.
Am I cutting out for everybody? Sorry. If it's gonna happen, I'll see if I'll switch over to my phone.
Yeah, he was just saying if you didn't hear him to go and subscribe to the Death Rattle channel, support us over there because we're trying to grow that channel so that it can eventually be its own thing and we don't have to piggyback on Ghost Pirate channel. So, but either way, we appreciate you watching no matter where you're watching from. So if you're on Twitch,
we do.
We really love you guys over there on Twitch.
We do love you on Twitch. I forgot to update that to the Death Rattle for the Screaming Room, so that's something else that I have to do. Yeah, I'm such a bad producer.
All good.
So let me know if I lag too bad, and I'll stop. I'll turn the hotspot off and actually go in from my phone.
You're just cutting out what you're saying. Some like I
is it happening real bad?
I don't think it's real bad, but like I don't know what it is for them. For me, it's
not
that bad.
Chat, let me know if I'm cutting out way too bad. If I'm unlistenable, and then I'll try to do something about it. So let's hey, there he is, Justin for Twitch. Hey.
Shouting out Twitch.
Our one Twitch viewer, I love it. Okay. Well, I want to kick this off by wishing, or how do I even say this? Tony Todd passed away.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking, man.
And that sucks. Yeah, what a legend.
Probably, I mean, there's very few deaths that have actually affected me like the loss of Tony Todd, because I never met the guy, but I've talked to him on Twitter a couple times, and always just the most gracious, humble, sweet guy. And everybody I've ever known that has had any interactions with him, everybody I've ever heard talk about him, I mean, he was just a saint. He was just the nicest, genuine kind of guy. And you could just tell, there's certain people where it's it just oozes from them. And he was one of those where every performance he gave, even for the stupidest low budget movie, he always gave it his all. And always, I mean, even stuff how amazing was he in the Final Destination franchise?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's movies where he wasn't necessarily the star. He just had this small role, and yet he was still you couldn't take your eyes off the screen. So
yeah,
he's great in Hatchet. He was great in, just
and even that show, even Adam Green's show. I always forget what it's called. Do you remember what that show's called? You haven't seen it?
I don't know.
Oh my God. It's Adam Green. It's a show. Chad, help me out. It's a show that takes place. It's Adam Green and his roommate, and they live somewhere in New England.
And, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh man, it's so good. Hang on.
But yeah, just everything he was in, he was just such a leading man. He reminded me in so many ways of a modern day version of damn it, who was I thinking of? Vincent Price. He very much reminded me of that, just that real true leading man who was super intelligent, not just a great actor, but was a Renaissance man and was interested in music and theater and, you know what I'm saying? Travel, and so.
Holliston. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Holliston. It's an okay show. It's very niche. Get some pretty good laughs. Dee Snider, I think, is the best. But it's great. Adam Green and Joe Lynch. and they and it's a sitcom, and like it's spooky stuff happens sometimes, and they have horror icons that show up, and Tony Todd was one of them, but they have a bunch of horror icons on the show, and they work at they have this stupid movie show at a TV studio that Dee Snider owns. And so Dee Snider plays the owner of this TV show that their studio that they work at. And anyway, but anyway, Tony Todd was on that, and he was great. But yeah, just such an awesome actor, great person all around. To heavy loss.
Yep. So definitely rest in peace, Tony Todd.
And we well wishes to his family as well, because we know that's gotta hurt.
He wasn't that old either, so
no,
it really sucks. He was only in his 60s. Like nowadays, it's one thing back, a long time ago, people, actors especially, musicians and actors would, partying so much, like back in the 60s, 70s, even in the 80s, dying in your 50s and 60s was like the norm.
Right.
But now it's like you just kind of expect you're going to have them until they're like 80s or 90s,
Right. Yeah.
So.
Somebody said I'm pixelated. Sorry, guys. It's probably going to be just a low quality stream because I'm on a hotspot right now. But if it gets too bad, and if you guys can't even hear me, then I will switch to my phone, and I'll just go from my phone and see how it goes.
I'm really curious if they already shot his parts in the newest Final Destination.
I don't know. I don't remember reading that.
I don't know. I have heard rumors that he was going to have, a small part in the new Final Destination, and I know that they've been shooting that. So, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm sure we'll see him again, in something, because he was always doing roles and stuff, Like I just saw him. I just saw him in that movie Stream. He had a small role in Stream. He was fucking awesome in that. Like in the very end, like at the very, very end.
Yeah.
Like he was such a small role, but he was so awesome in that.
Yeah. He's a treat. He's a treasure all the time. John says, oh yeah. So Hollis, yeah, that's right. Odorous Urungus from Guar is Adam Green's imaginary friend in the show.
Dude, I need to check that out.
Yeah, you should check it out. Like the thing is, it's like, it's a pretty decent show. It's just like, I don't know.
I love the mind of Adam Green, so I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
You'll like it then.
I was actually just talking in the video I just shot about his movie, Adam Green's movie. What's it called? I'm spacing on the name of it. Hold on. Why am I spacing on the Digging Up the Morrow?
Oh, I don't think I've
seen that. Did you ever see that? Dude, that's one of my favorite Adam Green movies. He actually acts in it. He wrote it, acts in it, and directed it. It's so fucking good. So good, dude. It's like super funny, fun, very Adam Green. It's like what you expect from Adam Green. It's going to be horror, but it's going to be goofy as well. So
cool. I'll check it out. All right. We want to talk about this Wolfman trailer?
Yeah. I don't know if we should watch it.
Watch it?
Well, there's two reasons, and I'm going to leave it up to the audience and you, of course. But I don't know if I'd say it's a spoiler, but it is Blumhouse. It is a Blumhouse trailer, so you do see some stuff. Like there are moments that you would catch you maybe more by surprise if you don't see the trailer. But it doesn't look like there's any massive spoilers in it.
Well,
but like all Blumhouse trailers, they show quite a bit. However, I will say this. I am finally now excited for the Wolfman.
This does it, huh?
There's finally they show enough body horror in this, and they show that it's going to go hard, because I guess there was still some talk if it was going to be PG-13, and I guess all along it's been rated R, but it was still kind of left in the air. A lot of people weren't sure if it was going to be rated R or not. And based on the first trailer, it was like it still could have easily been a PG-13 movie. And this, I feel like, was Blumhouse's way of being like, nope, it's R-rated. Everybody, we want that rumor to go away. Like, no, this is definitely an R-rated movie. Because there's a couple of scenes, like one scene where he's like falling and his hand hits the ground and one of his nails gets torn off. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, like not crazy gore, but enough that you're like, yeah, dude. So I'm guessing there'll be even more in the movie. But I don't care about gore. I'm not someone that has to have a ton of gore. What I care about with an R-rated movie is that it has that grit. That it doesn't feel glossy. It doesn't feel like it's holding back. It like has whatever it needs to have for the story. Like there's plenty of PG-13 movies to me that are just fine. They don't need to be R-rated. Like, but then at the same time, I've seen a bunch of R-rated movies that you're like, we didn't even need to be R-rated, dude. There was like,
like how did you get this R? Yeah, no,
yeah. And it's like, if you're R-rated, that's fine, but like it should feel like there's grit to it. There's a reason that it's R-rated. It's why I prefer like TV series that are on HBO or cable usually over network TV, because it's like it'll have that extra little edge that feels like an adult thing and not like something that's trying to tone things back for not to offend anybody or some shit.
All right, well, I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to try something to fix my Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Oh,
you haven't been
chat,
choppy.
Do you guys want to watch this trailer, or do you not care?
Yeah, there you go. You're chopped again. He said, do you guys want to watch the trailer or do you not care? I think. Pretty sure that's what he said. The care part chopped off, but I think that's what it was. And now he's frozen. So I'm riding solo, guys. Can you guys see me? All right. Looks like a lot of you guys were wanting to watch it. So once he gets back, we'll watch it. But while he is away, I'll read some of your guys' comments. All right. Awesome. I'm live. Thank you, Sus. Yeah, he got hit with the freeze. Yeah, he's trying to run off of a hotspot, but that doesn't work very well. So I told him to just switch to his phone because he doesn't have his Wi-Fi right now. Big in plaid. Yeah, I'm in plaid. I have lots of flannels. This is the flannel time of year. It's like my favorite time of year because I can finally break out my flannels and sweatshirts. Like I'm so much more happy when it's cold and I can layer up. I hate the summer. I don't even, like clothing wise, it's just, it feels like nothing you wear looks good. Unless you're a hot chick, but for those of us guys with a little bit of a belly, it's like, you don't look great in just a t-shirt. I mean, I don't even think a ripped out dude looks that great in a t-shirt. I think, even a ripped out dude looks better in a flannel and layers, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just think fashion can be so much more interesting. I'm only happy when it rains. I love that song. I'm only happy when it rains. Pour your misery down. It's that garbage, yeah. I used to have the biggest crush on that singer, man. I mean, she's still gorgeous. I saw a picture of her recently, like in her late 50s. I think it's still just stunning.
Am I back?
You're back. Let's see. Nick says, what up, Kanan? You're in San Francisco. Coldest winter Mark Twain ever experienced was summertime. I'm not in San Francisco. I wish I was in San Francisco, but I can't afford to live in San Francisco, man. San Francisco is crazy expensive. Like where I live is expensive, and I'm like, an hour and a half from San Francisco, and it's still expensive as hell. But the closer you get to the Bay Area, the more it's just insane. I mean, you're spending $3,000 a month for a bedroom, basically. So, yeah, we could see you. I think. Are you back, DJ?
Am I? I don't know. It looks like it's jumping around. Am I good?
I think so.
Okay.
You don't look choppy to me anymore, and the video is much clearer.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
That's why I've been telling you for a while, just to use your phone, because like the video is better on a phone. Especially when you have poor light, like you don't have a bunch of light, and so a phone always makes
catch up a little bit. So all right, I'm not lagging at all. Like I look.
Seem fine.
All right, cool.
Like even when your video lags slightly, your audio isn't lagging.
Oh, all right.
And that's why I was saying, like with a phone, even if it's not the best stream, you'll still be able to hear you more.
All right. All right. Well, let's get back to it. So, where were we?
So everybody said yes on the trailer.
We're watching the trailer. All right, dope. Let me bring it up.
So if you're watching this in the playback, the next part we're about to do will be cut out. So if you wonder why it's chopped all of a sudden, it's because YouTube does not like us using trailers in the podcast. So I have to always cut them out after the fact, or they'll block the video and whatnot. Except for on the Death Rattle podcast channel, you can go over there and still watch it in its entirety.
Yep.
So, but if you're watching on the Ghost Pirate, because I'm a monetized channel, they will not let me use trailers. But when it's non-monetized, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, shot across the bow. Wolfman says, "Come to Death Rattle. Kanan side ain't all that."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Watch
go over to the dark side.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Hold on, pause it, DJ. It is getting choppy.
Is it getting choppy?
Yeah. Like it's enough of a signal for you to be fine, but trying to play a trailer. So let me open it and do it.
All right. Sorry, folks. Well, this will be fixed next week. Promise.
I should have just done this in the first place. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Because like I have a stronger signal. We should have known this. Shit. Damn it. There we go. Okay, how do I'm spacing. Oh yeah, never mind. I remember now. Where did you view it, on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Universal Pictures.
Well, I know it's on YouTube, but I just meant like, is that where you're playing it from? So just a second, guys. See, Wolfman. Yep, 7 hours ago. Yeah, so it did come out today. All right, let me share this screen. Hold on. How do I share it again? I'm forgetting.
It's at the.
Is it the? What is it? Oh no!
See where it says it looks like a thing with a thing.
It says what? Say that again. You froze for a second.
It's present. Should be next to settings and then invite there at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Share screen. That's right. Okay. Wolfman. Share. Yeah.
Alrighty. John says opening looked like the Moors in American Werewolf.
All right. Do you see it?
I see it. All right. You want me to add it to the stage? All right. Yeah, I was saying when like fingernails and people's fingernails fall off and stuff like that. I hate that. I cannot stand that.
I know, that's one of the few, because I've had nails ripped off. Like I've had my nail ripped off a couple times actually.
Oh,
so
dude! Oh my god!
It makes
a couple
times.
times.
My teeth. And like, oh yeah. Playing sports, football. I lost a nail a couple times. Like had the football hit the nail and rip it off. Playing baseball, I've had it ripped off. And then fighting, I've had it a couple times. And then working, like when you work with wood, like you do roofing or you do. Like I did a lot of custom cabinetry. I've had wood go underneath my nail and rip it straight off.
Oh God. That happened to me. I'll never forget this. This happened to me all the way back in 8th grade. I did something. I was running around in the gym and like I slid across the floor and I put my hand out to catch myself on the bleachers and somehow a splinter piece of wood got underneath my fingernail.
Yep.
And
the worst is when it's small enough that you can't fucking get it out, like, and it just is in there, like glass.
Yeah,
that happened with glass too.
Well, let's talk about that trailer. Chat has a few things to say about it. It's pretty funny. Let me see here.
I was stoked on it because, like, hey, there's a big echo. Why is everybody hearing me so much? Or doubling? Why am I doubling up?
I don't know. I don't hear. Sorry, guys.
Did you have like double windows or something?
No. Is chat saying there's an echo? I don't hear you.
I think it's just that I can actually hear myself when I'm talking to you.
All right, let me turn you down. Are you better? Sorry, this is so scuffed today, folks. We've been.
Well, it's like, because when you guys, okay, this is like a behind the scenes kind of thing. When you do these type of things, the goal is to always have a setup that you can just like basically hit a remote and everything is back the same. Because every time you got to change anything, it's like there's a bunch of moving parts to try to get everything. And especially when you're doing something like this, where it's both of us, he has things on his side he's got to get, I have things on my side I got to get dialed. And so, like, for me, it's literally I can push a button and all my stuff is the same because I do this so much. But like on your end, losing the internet, it's like you got to change up everything. So,
yeah, and every time I mean, like, as soon as I get settled in here, everything next week will be fine.
Yeah, I don't want people to think that we're like not pros. It's just this is just part of the game. Like anytime you have changes, you gotta, and this is like a last minute kind of change up. So it's kind of either we go and do this as best as we could, or just skip the week. And I'd rather us just. And I'm sure you
we'll
guys
just fumble through it because we want to see you guys. We like everybody. But anyway, so I don't know. I thought the trailer looked pretty good. I thought, I'll
better than the other two, right?
It. Yeah, it looks better than the other two. Yeah. So
because we only had one, one sneak peek and then one full trailer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I think I'm like convinced or anything. I'm not saying I'm convinced it's going to be like an amazing movie, but I mean, from the beginning, I'm like, it's Leigh Whannell. And I thought his Invisible Man was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was very different. It was very different. He did his own thing with the idea of the Invisible Man. But I personally really enjoyed what he did. So, and I'm just talking about my personal opinion. I'm not saying everybody should agree. But like going into this, I think he's a very talented filmmaker. He may not always do something that's your cup of tea, but I don't think most people would argue that he's a talented filmmaker. And so I'm like, I figured this was at least going to be a competently made movie, but it's just like that first trailer. And the thing that really put a sour note for me was that picture of the Wolfman at Universal Studios. Yeah. Like it looked so bad. It just looked like some weird looking dumb old man. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? But this trailer was the first one that made me think, okay, this movie could actually feel kind of scary. Like it looks like it's going to have enough of that gritty, atmospheric, like creepy feel. The other trailers, I don't know what it was. It didn't give me that feeling like it was going to have that dark edge to it.
Yeah.
Like it felt very Blumhouse. Whereas this feels much more like, okay, here we go. This is Leigh Whannell. And he's going to,
we'll see.
do his thing. So
we'll see how it looks. I don't know. I can only say so much after watching a trailer. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to have a discussion about a movie on because I mean, you like The Invisible Man a lot. I thought it was okay. Like I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was good either. But this trailer looks decent. So,
but I also didn't have there wasn't any, that's the tricky part. Like with The Invisible Man, there isn't anything I was comparing it to or wanting it to be. And that's a problem a lot of times when you do a remake or a whatever, right? Reimagining or whatever you want to call it. When you're doing something like The Invisible Man, I mean, the only real famous one is fucking from the 1930s. So it's like,
yeah, that's true.
Because like the other versions, I mean, there's Hollow Man, which was okay.
No, God.
It was okay. I mean, for like when it came out, it was okay. You rewatch it now, you're like, yeah, this isn't that great. But for a movie of the time, it was okay. You know, it was nothing more than a popcorn movie. That's kind of what it was meant to be, and that's all it was. But it's not like, you know, we don't hold it up as like this is horror royalty. Whereas the Wolfman, I mean, even if you're not a huge fan of the 2000, what is it? Was it 15?
Oh, the one with Benicio del Toro?
Yeah, what year was that?
I don't know. Hang on.
Is it 11? Anyway, it's called The Wolfman.
2010.
Okay. So
yeah, Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. Man, I can't believe this movie was as bad as it was.
I don't think it's bad, but it's definitely not horror royalty. Like it's not a classic. Like some people still love it. And it does have its qualities. Like it looks great. The CGI is what holds it back for me. The biggest, like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Some of the performances are not great. Like Anthony Hopkins, it's the only time I've ever seen him in a movie where I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Like I've heard a lot of people joking about that. That's his biggest paycheck movie where he just, it's kind of like James Caan and
probably.
it's like James Caan and Jaws 3 or whatever, or Jaws, is it Jaws 3? Jaws 4? Like it's a famous one where he skipped the Oscars. He won an Academy Award, skipped it, his Oscar for Misery, to work on Jaws 3.
Wow.
Yeah. But he's like,
just to get the money.
He always makes the joke. He's like, my house got paid off for that because of that movie. You know, it's like, you can't hate that.
I think I'm lagging out again.
No, your sound has always been fine. Like you've looked a little choppy, but your audio is not yet chopped at all.
Oh, all right. Well, I lost you were about to say the story and I lost you. And then like you like came back again. And that was like, that's probably me.
I was just saying he always makes the joke of, you know, may not be a great movie, but it paid off my house. So, and it's like, you know, you can't hate on that. Like everybody's got to work. Like as much as you want all your artists to make art for the sake of art, it's just not reality. Yeah. You know, it's like, do I love every single thing about this channel? No, there's days and times where I'm like, you know, it's work, but
oh yeah,
at the end of the day, I do love what I do. And I do put a ton. Anybody that really knows me knows how much time and passion I put into this, how much I love what I do. But, you know, there's always going to be those videos where you phone it in a little bit, you know, it's because it's your job. Like the moment you take a paycheck for whatever art you're doing, that moment is the last time you'll ever 100% be purely doing something for just the joy of it. It's just the way it goes. You know, it's like you're getting, there's work involved. It's your job. And so I don't hate actors for that. It's a little bit of a tangent, but either way, I still think there's some good qualities to the Wolfman from 2010, but everybody, including me, when you hear Wolfman, you think of the Universal 1943, right? I think it's 43, the 1940, 46.
Yeah.
The Wolfman. Like, it's just, you know, it's one of the best of all of the Universal classics. Like, for me personally, it is my favorite. And so when I heard Lee Winnell was making it, my immediate reaction was, dude, this is awesome. Finally, there'll be a modern day Wolfman that will be worthy, you know, and I still don't know if I think that's going to happen, you know, from the trailer. I still don't feel that, but I at least don't feel like it's going to be a train wreck now. And so that's why I'm at least feeling optimistic and happy that I at least don't think it's going to be a disgrace or anything.
Well, we'll see. We will see when it comes out. All right.
I think it's kind of impossible to remake certain movies. You know,
I would agree. I think if you
certain ones
Wolfman, though, I think the Wolfman is remakeable.
Yeah, I'm not saying you can't remake it, but to ever have it be on like that Mount Rushmore level, you know, I don't know if there's certain ones, and the Wolfman's one of those where it'll be hard for anyone to ever make a movie that's like on that level. You know, Frankenstein, another one, because we've had a couple really good Frankensteins, but none of them are on the level of the original. Like, just there's so much about that original. It's like some of it is it's like hollowed status because it is such a pioneer, and you know what I mean. Some of it's that it's like hollowed ground.
Well, then in that case, then no, you're never gonna. I don't think you're ever gonna beat the originals when it comes to stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why I don't know if I'd ever want to. Like, if I was making movies, like, I don't think I'd ever want to. I don't really understand that logic of filmmakers. Like, Lee Winnell is a great example. Like, why, dude? Like, I mean, the guy has made some brilliant things. Like, Upgrade is my favorite thing he's done, but like, he's done some really great movies. And I'm like, why? Why are you taking on these? Like Flanagan, when we hear he's taking on The Exorcist, I'm like 100% confident.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
it's going to be amazing. But there's very few filmmakers that I think can take on those legendary types of movies, and that I feel confident will make a great movie.
Can you read some chats? I got to get up for a second before we move on to the next bit of news.
Yeah, exactly. The original Wolfman is just a classic. There's so much about it. It's like, it's one of the few that, because like a lot of those classics, they don't show the creature enough. There's not enough of the horror elements, like the moody atmospheric horror elements in them. Like, as much as I love The Mummy, you only see the mummy in like the very beginning of the movie, like, for a tiny little bit of that movie. Frankenstein is, you do see him quite a bit, but like a lot of those, it's like you barely see the creatures. But like with the Wolfman, even before you see the Wolfman, there's the whole beautiful like scene where he goes to the gypsies, and like there's so much of that creepy atmospheric part, like before you even see the Wolfman himself. I grew up with the Universal stuff, but if you want something different, watch Ginger Snaps. Dude, I love Ginger Snaps. Ginger Snaps is amazing. That's my point. I'm not saying you can't make werewolf movies. There's been a ton. I mean, like, Dog Soldiers is fantastic. The Cursed is a great werewolf-ish type of movie. Like, there's been a lot of really good werewolf movies. I mean, I made a couple lists of the best werewolf movies. Whir is another great one. I'm just not convinced you can remake a Universal classic and make it like worthy of the name. Like they're doing a new Creature, the Black Lagoon, and that's another one. I'm like, dude, why are you guys taking on these? Like, I'd rather just see someone do like a, like a creature that's similar to that, like Benicio del Toro did with Shape of Water. Like, that's not the Creature in the Black Lagoon. I mean, it kind of is. It's similar type of thing, but it's not remaking that exact movie. Yeah, I love Upgrade. Upgrade is so good. But like Ginger Snaps is just a really, really different story. It's like, yeah, it's a werewolf movie, but it's nothing like the Wolfman. The moral of the story, the whole idea behind it, it's a coming of age kind of movie, and there's a lot of layers to the meaning and stuff of it. It's very different than the Wolfman. Yeah, I get remaking them for a new generation. Like, I definitely get that. I just don't know. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. Like, I'm not at all saying that no one should do it. All I'm saying is, if I was a filmmaker, I don't think I would want to do it. Because it's like, it's so hard to do that. But like I did say, I thought the new Invisible Man was fantastic. I thought Lee Winnell did great with it. So, I'm not at all against him making a new Wolfman by any means. I just am very skeptical that it's going to be that good. Nosferatu, I think, could be that good. So that's an example of, yes, remaking it for a modern time, and one that, at least from the trailer and everybody I know that has seen it, that what they've told me, like, it's going to be a masterpiece, like an instant classic, and but it's just very rare that filmmakers can pull that off when you're talking about these beloved, classics. Yeah, it wasn't Misery. I forget the James Caan. I think it's a Jaws 4. I know he missed an Academy Award. Like, he won an Academy Award and he missed the acceptance speech to be on the set of Jaws. I think it was Jaws. I don't know, remember if it was 3 or 4. But it's like a famous story. My memory sucks. But like, if you look on YouTube, there's actually a video of someone else accepting the award for him, and it's funny when you know the story behind it. The wolf head came. What? The wolf head came is. Oh, the wolf. Yeah, the wolf head cane. I've always wanted one. Like, I've seen cheap knockoffs, but I want like a real heavy duty one. I'm not saying it has to be like actually made of silver, but someday I would love to have a wolf head cane sitting somewhere on the set. That would be so sick. But like a good one that looks real.
Sorry, guys. All right, how did that go? Hello?
I can't hear you. Hold on, DJ. My headphones are off. They're coming back on now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Are we good?
All right.
Good? Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me?
They're connecting to my tablet. Give me a second.
Okay. All right. Well, if the chat can hear me, I hope Kanan didn't bore you too much.
We have never been this janky.
I know, dude. It is a janked up day today. I know. But thanks for taking care of them for me. Let's talk. Can you hear me? Are we good? Kanan can't hear me. But we want to talk. We want to move on to our next bit of news.
They should be able to hear you.
We'll get to more chats. So we'll get to more chats. We want to get to our next bit of news before we have to get minutes of technical fuck ups. But anyway, oh hey, we got a super come in. Gotta get this. Instant Defense says, "Don't you know there ain't no devil? That's just God when he's drunk." It's a quote from Tom Waits. I love Tom Waits. But awesome. Thank you, Instant Defense.
Yeah, I can hear you again.
Okay, cool. All righty.
So our next topic.
Our next little bit of news here comes from Bloody Disgusting. It says the Nosferatu marketing campaign will not reveal the title character until the film's release. Good.
Yep. I love that. I love that. It's like, I'm hoping that this is a sign, because we saw this with Longlegs and we saw it do so well for Longlegs. Like, even if you don't like Longlegs, whatever, I don't think anybody can argue how effective the marketing campaign was for that. And the fact that everybody knew that, that he was in it, but yet he never, like none of the ads would show you him. Like, the most you got was that in the trailer where he's like kind of covering his face like this.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just hoping and seeing this doing now the same thing where they're not going to reveal him in all the marketing. Like, I just hope that we're finally seeing even that Blumhouse trailer. Like, for Blumhouse, I feel like that was they refrained from showing stuff in that Wolfman trailer. Like, most of the final trailers Blumhouse puts out are like super spoilery, like show you stuff that you're like, dude, that's got to be the end of the movie, Yeah. So I'm hoping that we're going to start seeing more marketing trying to not show us everything, not spoiling shit.
Yeah, that'd be great. So according to Bloody Disgusting, it says we are just about a month and a half away from Christmas, which means we are a month and a half away from the release of Robert Eggers' The Witch. Director Robert Eggers' new movie Nosferatu, a fresh take on the classic horror movie from Focus Features. Bill Skarsgård is playing Nosferatu, Count Orlok, in the film, whose appearance has been hidden from the film's marketing up to this point. And a new preview piece from Entertainment Weekly today suggests that will remain the case until the day of December 25th, 2024. According to the outlet, only when audiences arrive in theaters on premiere day this Christmas will the general public see the results of the full hair, makeup, and by Neon's marketing campaign only confirmed this is the right decision for Nosferatu. I think the best way to discover Orlok is through the movie for the first time, Bill Skarsgård tells Entertainment Weekly. The movie functions on that as well. He lives in the shadows for a long time, and it teases the reveal of the character as the movie progresses. Co-star Willem Dafoe teases, the only thing that I thought was really great and felt really fresh is he looks like he could have been from Romania as opposed to a suave English guy or something. He had a look that was rooted in historic accuracy and a folk tradition. It's an interesting quote. Nicholas Hunt, Emma Corrin, Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Lily Rose Depp also star in Robert Eggers' big screen resurrection of the Nosferatu legend. Eggers directs and he wrote the script. Eggers also serves as producer alongside Chris Columbus, Eleanor Columbus, Jeff Rubinoff, and John Graham. F.W. Murnau directed the original. Oh, how do you say it? Murnau. F.W. Murnau directed the original 1922 version of Nosferatu, while fellow German filmmaker Werner Herzog
remade it. Yeah, in the 70s, I think it was.
Herzog's version of that. What did you think?
It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's one of the ones I need to rewatch. I remember liking it, but I felt like it was really slow at the same time.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but it was all right. I thought, what's his name? Klaus Kinski did a good job.
Yeah, I had a lot less patience like back when I saw that. Like, I think I saw that in like the 90s, so
yeah.
I was still pretty young. Like, I can handle slow burns now. I wasn't a big fan of slow burns then.
Right.
I checked out pretty easily. So let's before we run out of time, let's get to our thoughts of Heretic.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go first?
We'll keep it spoiler free because I really want people to go out and see this movie.
Yeah, spoiler free. Sorry, give me a second.
And there are some pretty heavy spoilers towards the end of it. It's one of those cool movies though that, like, even if someone told you like exactly what happens, it's still awesome because of the way it plays out and like everything about it, like the way it looks and the performances. Like, there's so much to the movie besides just the nuts and bolts, I guess is what I'm saying. That, to me, that's a sign of a really all around good movie, is when you could take out any component and you're still getting left with a good movie,
Yeah.
Because like there's certain movies, like if you take out one performance, you're not left with a good movie. Or if you take out, you know what I mean? Like the special effects, well, then it's not good anymore. Like, This is one of those, like, to me, well-balanced movies.
Yeah.
What did you think? I think it's the best written movie this year.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I would probably agree with that. I thought it was really well written. I thought the characters were good.
Because there's a lot of a script here too. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, there's other movies that are well written, but they're not as much of like a story. Like, there's a lot of dialogue in this. There's a lot of build up. There's a lot of, the character.
Well, yeah, and like, it's an exploration of religion and certain religions and faith and what that means. And I want to see it again because it is a pretty heavy movie when it comes to.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack. Like, what's interesting to me is I think you could come away.
The action coming out of the theater was positive.
I haven't really heard very many negative. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. Like, it's not, but I think most people I've heard at the very least enjoyed it. Some may not love it, but they were still like, oh, it was cool.
Moonbear.
I do think a lot of people I think this movie does go over the head of a lot of people. Like, it is a bit of a cerebral movie. There is a lot of layers here.
It's pretty heady.
That I like, especially if you're not someone like, I have the benefit of being well-versed in a lot of religions, but especially in Mormonism. Like, I've grown up my entire life with Mormons. Like, my best friends are Mormon. Like, the first girl I was in love with was Mormon. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I very much know the ins and outs of the religion, the good and the bad. And beyond that, I've studied theology a lot. I've studied a lot of the different belief systems. And I also kind of fall on the side of not exactly believing a lot of it. So I feel like that gives me a kind of a leg up on, your general audience coming into this might not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand.
But I also don't think it's a hate, like, because I think some people could come up away thinking that it's like a hate on religion movie, and I don't think it's that either.
Yeah, I don't think it's I don't think it's that. That's because that's what Moonberry said. It said I'm hoping it's not too heavily handed anti-religious. It's not. But
I do think some people are going to come away with that.
Harry on religion and certain religions, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's anti-religious.
No, but I do think some people will come away with that.
Yeah,
but there's a big thing that happens. There's a big thing that happens at the very, very, very end of this movie. And I won't say what it is. DJ will know what I'm talking about, though. But basically, one of the characters says something at the very end. And I feel like the line that they say, if you know what's up and you're paying attention, you'll realize that this isn't an anti-religion movie. This is an anti-believing in something because everybody tells you to, or because it's what you're brought up with, or you know what I mean? This is a movie that's about believing in what you believe in.
Yeah, it's about questioning your convictions and
it's a good thing to think.
Yeah, well, and that's what a lot of people should do. I mean, like a lot of people should do that, especially people that have a religion. You should be able to question your convictions. You should be able to question that stuff and really know what it is that you believe, or at least believe what it is that you believe. And
you should be able to this movie should make you think. And I think if at the end of this movie you come away with feeling like your beliefs were attacked, and that you either feel just indignant, then it means you're not questioning your religion enough. You're not questioning what you believe enough. Because if you truly believe in what you believe in, this movie's not going to shake anything. You shouldn't feel offended.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because everything that is said in this is true. Like if you actually look into the history and you read about it, everything he says is factually based in real stuff. It doesn't mean it's a real honest opinion.
Hang on.
Okay,
I'm not going to get. No, we don't have enough time. But that theory,
damn it, you froze.
An ancient Indian, I forget what her name is.
You froze.
Am I back?
Okay, yeah. The theory, okay. What? You said the theory, and then you cut out.
The theory that Jesus is an amalgamation of a bunch of other different religious.
That's a theory, though. That's not what I'm talking about. Like he says, that's a theory. That's not a provable fact. Everything he says is true, though. But it's you take all this stuff, and it's a theory you can have. Everything he says is true, though. Like all those things are true. Like all these old religions do have characters. You can say the same thing about Noah, the same thing, like Gilgamesh is the Mesopotamian version of Noah. Like literally every character that's in the Bible, if you look in a lot of those older religions, there's characters that are very similar with different names.
No, I understand that.
It's up to you to decide what all that means. His theory in the movie is that Jesus is like created from amalgamation of all these ancient religious things, right? That's a theory.
You have to
prove the reasons. Yeah. But the reasons he believes that's all true. Like all of the things he says are true. It's just a matter of, his conclusion is a theory, but the evidence that he claims, all that stuff is true. It's up to you to decide what that means, though. Like the stuff he says about Joseph Smith, all that stuff is true about Joseph Smith. It's up to you to decide, you know what I mean, what you think of all that. Because everything he says about Joseph Smith, you need to look in your religion. If you don't know all this stuff he talks about with Mormonism, you really need to look into what you say you believe. Because, I love my Mormon friends with all my heart. But I'm telling you, I know a lot of them don't know all the history and all the stuff about their religion. And if they did, they would question what they believe in a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
So we both recommend seeing this movie because it's going to start a lot of conversations. And if I had better internet, I would engage more in this conversation because I don't want to keep pausing and lagging out and whatnot. But it is good. And
maybe we'll dig more. Maybe we'll dig more in next week and like
we can dig more in
of
next week.
More of a spoiler conversation on it.
Well, I gotta upload my actual review onto my channel. I gotta do that first, and then then we can really talk about it.
Do you give a letter or scores, or you don't do any of that? Neither do I.
No, I don't like that. I don't like scoring. I don't like giving stars or ratings or anything like that. I just like giving my opinion, and then I do a pass fail. It's like a recommend or a not recommend. That's what I do.
I give do I think you could wait for it to stream? Does it feel like something you should go in theaters? Like, to me, this is one you should see in theaters. Like, it's worth the money and the effort to go see in theaters. It's that good.
I think so, and it's an indie film, and so I would say
I think it's going to be on most people's top 10 of the year.
I think so. And that's
like, I don't know how high, like, I think for me it'll be close to like in the upper half of my top 10, but I think, some people may have it towards the lower end of their 10, but I do think it's like, if you've seen this is something a lot of people need to take in consideration when you see these top 10 horror movies of the year. How many horror movies do these people see? Because like, you'll have, like, last year, Skinamarink. You had a lot of people with Skinamarink as like one of their top movies, and yet they didn't even have When Evil Lurks, and they never even saw When Evil Lurks. And so it's like,
you got to take top 10s with a grain of salt.
Yeah. How much, like, there's certain people that I don't agree with their list usually, but I have a ton of respect for their list. Like Rebecca McKendry, she has the podcast Colors of the Dark, and their top 10, they see everything. They make me feel like I haven't seen enough movies. Like, those guys see everything, but they also get the benefit of seeing movies at a lot of the film festivals and stuff that I don't get to see, that I may end up seeing next year or whatever. But like, and they also teach that, they're teachers. They're amazing. But I can usually pretty confidently say I've definitely like this year, I've seen every theatrical horror movie. Like, even ones that are on limited releases. I've seen all of them.
I think the only ones that I haven't seen in the theater.
Well, even if I don't see it in theater, I see them. Like,
I didn't see.
There's a few that were on Yeah, like Stream is a good example. That was on such a limited release, so some people didn't see that in theaters. I did, but like, there's movies like that I won't see in a theater because it didn't play anywhere near me in a theater, but I'll still see them when they're streaming.
Yeah.
So when I say theatrical, I mean any movie this year that's even had a small release I've seen on some level.
Yeah, and you're lucky because you're out in California and they'll release more stuff. I'm in Florida where they won't release a lot of things out here.
Yeah.
We don't get.
But I still watch them. Like there was trying to think. There's been a couple movies that they weren't playing anywhere around me, so I had to still wait until they were streaming. What was it? Like Daddy's Head on Shudder.
Oh my God, I still have to finish that movie.
There's another one too that you didn't like it.
It's so hard to get through the beginning. I've tried twice to get through the beginning of that fucking movie. It's because it's just so sad and depressing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, it's just so heavy. Like right up front, it's so heavy. And so it's like,
but I feel like it's effective. Like it is. And that's why people that try to say it's a Babadook ripoff, I'm like, dude, you're not paying attention, because that movie is way heavier and feels so much more like what it really feels like to lose someone when you're a kid. That movie feels so much more realistic than Babadook did. Like, I did not relate to Babadook on that same level. But like, Daddy's Head, like I had a bunch of family members die. But before I was by the time I was 12, I had like a half a dozen family members die. And so I was really, I really was able to relate to that movie.
I want to finish it. Like I said, I want to finish it. It's just, it's so heavy in the beginning that it's like, if this is what I'm going to be watching for 2 hours, like
it does come away from that.
Okay. All right.
But it has to be that heavy, I feel like, in the beginning to really have the weight.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It's just, that's the one that it's just been hard for me to get to start it and like get into it because of that. That's all. But I'm gonna finish it. It's gonna happen. All right. I want to read a couple of chats.
Mads is another one that was on a really limited release, and I didn't get to see in theaters near me, but I ended up still watching it on Shudder.
Yeah. I want to get to just a couple of chats. Citizen Sleeve says, that's.
Damn it, you froze.
Oh my God.
You said Citizen Sleeve, and then that was, yeah.
All right, sorry. Citizen Sleeve says, I was a film lecturer for 20 years. Discover you guys recently-ish. Absolutely love your discussion. Much horror love. Thank you, Citizen Sleeve.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we like getting props, especially from somebody who's been a film lecturer for 20 years. That's impressive.
Yep. Everybody go over, before we forget again, everybody go over to the Death Rattle YouTube channel and subscribe over there and watch the podcast over there, please.
Yes, please. Let me see. There's what else? Somebody thanked you for a rec.
Oh, and go over to in 30 minutes, go over to the Sledgehammer Horror channel. He's doing a tribute to Tony Todd.
Oh, yes, do that. Everybody at Sledgehammer is really cool.
Yep.
Oh, Nick says, thanks for the You're Never Really Alone recommendation, Kanan.
You're welcome.
Let me see here.
I think it's You Won't Be Alone.
Oh. Jack says the lead in Daddy's Head has 0 redeemable characteristics, which made it hard to watch for me. Okay. Oh, no.
The woman?
Yeah, it was like
the wife, the little boy, or the wife? Because like the wife, dude, I was like feeling that character so much. Like I can't even imagine. Like she just married the love of her life. Like they'd recently been married, and she hadn't even bonded with his little boy yet, who was dealing with the loss of his mother still, and like still working through that. And then all of a sudden, her husband out of nowhere gets killed. Like, dude, especially by the end, I feel like she kind of comes full circle somewhat. So it just felt very like realistic. Like so something that drives me crazy is people that don't identify with the character because they're like, they want someone to be the way people are in movies. It's like, people are not really like that in real life.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. He said she didn't have any redeemable characteristics. So we'll have to see what that means.
I just think she was realistic. Like she was flawed. She's a human. Like she felt like a real character, like a real person.
Well, yeah, but you can be flawed.
Didn't do everything right.
You can be flawed, but you still have to have something that we want to root for you for, right? You have to have that, whether you have like a save the cat moment or you have something.
I just wonder, you haven't finished it. But
no,
like,
I wonder.
I'm wondering if that comment, if they had finished it, because like I have a hard time believing that by the end you still don't think she has redeemable character. Like what that woman does and goes through and everything by the end, like, okay. Like she is amazing to me in that movie. Like, I'm like, man, I wish I had a stepmom like her. Especially James says, where she has to go through and like the place that she comes from in the beginning of that movie to where she ends up by the end, him and like the little boy and the mom or the stepmom. Like, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm going to finish it. James says, started watching Daddy's Head, but it is slow. Jack says Mads was trash. No, it wasn't.
You're crazy.
Mads was damn good. Yeah, Mads was not trash. I'm
not saying everybody can disagree. Everybody can agree, like whatever. Like there's nothing wrong with not liking a movie. What bothers me always is comments like that. Saying a movie's trash, like completely, you lose all credibility to me, because there's a difference between I didn't like a movie, I didn't connect with a movie, I didn't feel that movie. When you say that movie's trash, you're just wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like a movie, but you cannot say a movie is trash if it's well made, well shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you have to make an argument
about it credible. Like,
you can say a movie's trash, but you have to make an argument. You have to argue for why it's trash. Like, you can't just say that was trash. Like,
that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, yeah, but look at this list.
Just flat out saying it's trash is like, yeah, dude, that's a list of great movies this year.
Except for The First Omen. But then
The First Omen is awesome. The First Omen is probably going to end up in my top 10. I love that movie.
So dumb.
Have you rewatched it?
I've not rewatched it, no, but I don't.
Did you see that one in theaters? You didn't see that one in theaters, huh? Damn it,
I'm sorry. No, I didn't see it in theater, and I don't want to fight with you about The First Omen again. We're already over. We have to leave. I don't want to fight with you about The First Omen again. We always fight about it.
No, but it's something I've seen a lot this year that sucks is people who tend to be like, like in this case, The First Omen, right? And it makes me wonder what your feelings and thoughts would have been on it if you had seen it when I saw it, like before there was any expectations, before you heard anybody else say it was a good movie, and you saw it in theaters. Like I saw it before anybody else. Like I saw it like a day before its early opening. Like I saw it at a screener or an advanced screening, and it's like we had no idea if it was going to be any good or not. And I feel like that made me see it very different than people that saw it later on after they heard people talking about it, and especially if you watched it at home.
Sorry, I'm listening to you, but yeah, I
think Longlegs is another really big example of that, where it's like so many people I've heard. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking. This is not about you. I'm saying just in general. I've noticed this a lot this year. No, I'm saying it's not personally about you. I just mean in general. I've heard this a lot this year, where like I've seen this. I've heard it a lot with Strange Darling, and I think Strange Darling is a fucking home run. Like I think it's top 5 of the year, and yet I've heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, that movie's way overhyped," blah blah blah. And it's like, it makes me wonder, like, if you didn't see that movie in a theater, and if you saw it after you heard a bunch of people hyping it up, if it would then be like, it's all right. It's just such an interesting thing. I feel like people need to quit listening to the hype machine.
Yeah. Puppy Love has a question. Hey, Kanan. Hey, DJ. Kanan, did you ever watch Who's Watching Oliver on Tubi? I left a comment on a video. You said you'd give it a view, so I was curious.
Nope. Who's Watching Oliver? No, I think I did add it to my queue, though. I'll look. Dude, you guys also got to remember, when I say I add something to my queue, that means there's probably about 300 or 400 movies in front of it. So, like, it's not that I don't want to get to movies that you guys recommend. It's just I can't, I can't watch everything.
I want to get to a lot of these comments, but we really got to go.
I'll make sure it's on my queue, though. I promise that right now. Who's Watching Oliver?
A lot of people talking about how First Omen was beautiful. Yeah, it was well shot.
Totally I love that movie. I think it's fantastic. I thought Nil Tiger, because I'm not a big fan. Yeah, it's on my queue. See, it's on my queue. So I definitely will check it out at some point. Yeah, I think like a lot of it for me is I've never been a huge fan of The Omen, like of the original Omen.
Yeah, they're not one of those movies.
No, it's one of those. If I had seen it maybe when I was a kid, I think it would have been maybe higher up. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true though, because like I didn't see The Exorcist until I was like, in my 20s. Like I saw it, sometime in like maybe the late 90s.
Yeah.
And I still thought this movie's amazing. However, I've never seen The Exorcist on the same level as people that saw that movie in theaters back when it came out. Right. And so if I saw The Omen way back then, maybe it would be higher on my, but it's just slow to me. And it doesn't have a lot of teeth. Like it just, whereas like another movie of that time that I feel like is slow, The Changeling, I do think is a fucking great movie. So it isn't necessarily that it's a slow 70s movie. It's just something about The Omen just never really blew my socks off,
Yeah.
But the first Omen made me actually give a shit about that story finally, because I felt like they were able to kind of capture a lot of the interesting elements of the Omen and bring it into a more modern era where, you know, the writing and directing and things felt more fresh. And so that's what worked for me. But
all right, well, we can fight about it later because I gotta eat dinner.
I'm not going to argue that the Omen in general is not the most. I'm just the whole Antichrist thing. I don't know. It's just not the most compelling horror thing to me.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. Sorry we didn't get to a lot of the chats, but leave us a comment on the video when it re-uploads, and we'll comment back. And if you have movie recommendations, we will do that. And I have to, you guys keep doing this. Instant defense with a 10. Thank you. Current 93, Lucifer over London, Barza do Bolo. Look it up. What are these? These are movies. Are you recommending us movies for $10? Thank you.
Yeah, are those on Tubi? What were they again?
Current 93, Lucifer
I've
over
never
London.
heard of these.
Yeah, me neither. And Barza do Bolo. Oh, music. It's music. He's recommending music. Okay, yeah, sure.
Is that what kind of music is that? Why would you think we would like it?
I don't know.
Current. What was it? Current what? 93? Are those
Current
names
93,
of bands or songs?
Lucifer.
Yeah, it's
and Barza do Bolo. Look it up. So, all right, we'll look it up. We'll look these up. We'll look up. Depends on the genre, because
I'm gonna be honest. This doesn't necessarily look like my. I don't know. Like, I'll definitely check them out though.
All right, guys.
I am a big fan of like all genres of music, so I'm always down to get recommendations for music, even more than I am movies, because movies I already have such a full plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No
and
kidding.
with music has become like my only outlet, because like movies, as much as I love them, are still work, whereas music, it's just pure enjoyment. I don't have to worry about critiquing it, or if you know what I mean, picking like what's good, bad, whatever about it. I could just enjoy it if I enjoy it. Like I've been really into like, do you saw Smile 2, right?
I saw Smile 2, yeah.
The soundtrack, dude. What's her name? Naomi Scott. Like, she goes by Sky Riley, but like I didn't realize while I was watching the movie how much I would actually like some of the songs that she does for that movie.
They're pretty
like
catchy.
One especially where they're doing that and they're doing the dance troupe thing and they spin her. I'd never seen anyone do that before either. Like where they actor, like they hold her and they spin her in a circle. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, that was fucking sick. And is that a new member?
Leslie gifted 10 Ghost Pirate Entertainment memberships.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. One day we'll have Death Rattle memberships. One day. All right, but seriously, we gotta get out of here. We gotta go.
Yeah.
we gotta leave. We're going late, but we could talk all the time. But
next week, check out Sky Riley, Naomi Scott.
Yeah, check her out. And next week the show won't be as scuffed. We'll be back on
janky.
It won't be so janky. We'll actually look like professionals. And we'll see you guys 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, and everywhere in between, right here on YouTube.
This has been the Death Rattle Podcast. And DJ froze.